It's always difficult to end a good conversation, and I can see there are lots of good conversations going on this evening, but we have other things to do, and I'm very much honored to welcome you all to the 6th Newman Prize for Chinese Literature. I'd like to just say a few things about the prize, a few things about the winner, and then we'll move along. The Newman Prize for Chinese Literature is conferred on the basis of a single work or a lifelong accomplishment, communicating the human condition. This year's winner, Xi, does more than just communicate the human condition. She transforms it. She opens it. And I want you all to take a moment to think about what that word means, the human condition. And I don't just mean that all around the world we speak different languages, have different cultures and histories, and yet all share the same basic universal trials and joys. But also just what does the condition mean? It sounds like a medical condition, right? Maybe it is. In my life, I look around and I see people talking and walking quickly, talking about important things, but everything is done quickly, in sound bites. I think the human condition needs to be opened like an aperture, like a window, like a door. And literature does this. And Xi in particular does this very well. Think of it like this. We skate across the ice quickly because we're perhaps a little afraid of what happens if we slow down. The ice will break. We'll fall under it into the unknown. But we live in the unknown, right? And Xi's work cracks the ice. And when we enter a novel of hers or a poem of hers, we find out it is not the end. In fact, it's the beginning. Her work is generous, attentive. It is kind and gentle. But it is also bracing sometimes, because it is, in fact, looking at the human condition as a big, open, heterogeneous, untamable, unfathomable space. And so her work is considered the work of, often considered to be written in the perspective of a child. But it is because a child sees the world as it is, before all of the abstractions tell you what it is. Her work does not tell you what to think. It is the human condition. And so tonight, I think, of all the winners that we've celebrated here, this mission of the Newman Prize has never been more perfectly matched to an author. So it is a great pleasure of mine to introduce our first speaker, who will talk a little bit about OU, and then we're going to also hear about the U.S.-China Issues Institute, and then Harold Newman will speak also about the prize, and we'll say, of course, more things about Xi's work as we move along. The last thing I'll say is that when it comes to U.S.-China relations, the U.S. Issues Institute, of course, is looking at issues which are sometimes problems, right? Issues that come up between the two countries are because we have different goals, different histories. But literature does something that nothing else can do, and that is it can provide a window into another perspective. And of course, that is the foundation for building empathy. And empathy is quite different than knowledge. Knowledge can be power, but empathy is empowering to all. And literature is vital to the mission of every research university, and reading Chinese literature is vital today because, of course, China and the US have to read each other. We have to wake up in the morning and turn and face each other. Like a marriage, like a family, it is resilient proximity that will hold us together. We can't leave the room unless you move to Mars. We are in the room together.